This is the 2025 Honda Odyssey Sport-L. Is it the ultimate multitasking minivan? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I recently showed an Odyssey Sport and told you about the changes for 2025. It's a refresh, not a full redesign, but the biggest changes, not so much on the exterior as they are on the interior, but I did promise a full video like we normally do and not just a look at the changes. So that's what we're doing in today's video with this trim level. As more trim levels become available here at the dealership, I'll show you what has changed. So let's take a look here. As always, there's a link down in the description of the video. Here on the front end, the changes will be a redesigned front fascia. Everything is designed to accentuate the wide stance of the Odyssey. The new look with the grille, as you can see, and the wider surrounds on our fog lights with our fog light surround down there, those LED fog lights. That's all going to help give this Odyssey that sporty, maybe a little more aggressive look. You're still gonna have your full LED lighting, LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and those LED fog lights I mentioned down there just a few seconds ago. Still front wheel drive is all we're going to have. I know a lot of you would like to see all wheel drive, but as of right now, that is not the case. We'll just have to see what happens in the future. How about our tire and wheel size? 235 on the width. A 55 series sidewall. These are all season tires in here. The 19-inch wheels. That's another change we're going to have for 2024. Our new wheels by trim level. These are the 19-inch wheels. A nice look. As we work our way up, we're going to find our power adjustable side view mirrors. They are manually folding, and they do fold in two different directions. Turn signal indicators built in. You will also find the gloss black mirror caps. They're heated and they're power adjustable. Now you might say, what's the deal, Tom? No blind spot monitoring? Well, this is something that hasn't changed, is you still have your blind spot monitoring right here on the inside of the door. That's going to be on both sides. And speaking of safety features, you're going to have Honda sensing that comes on all trim levels. It is a standard feature. That's going to be adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation, braking, road departure mitigation, and lane keeping assist. Here is your remote. That is another change for 2025. As you can see, the same basic features are going to be here, but just a different look. So lock, unlock, you can open and close your power sliding side doors on each side. You do still have remote start. You can open and close your power tailgate, and if you get nervous, you can hit the panic button right there. Almost panicked because I kind of got tongue twisted and don't want to have to refilm this scene. Still have the walkaway features, still a proximity key, everything that you want to have. LED tail lights with the, once again, redesigned rear fascia. And the biggest change back here, kind of an interesting thing, are going to be the reflectors. They're vertical now, and from what I can understand from Honda, these are the reflectors from the second generation Acura NSX supercar. Can you imagine if we had a super minivan? That would be a first in the industry. The soccer moms would be flocking to the Honda dealerships because they wouldn't have to be late getting the kids to soccer practice anymore. And while we don't have a super minivan just yet, we do still have the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated Honda V6 under the hood. There's enough power here to get the kids to soccer practice or anything else they need to do on time. In fact, just leave early and that problem's solved. 280 horsepower, 262 pounds-feet of torque, still mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And we'll go over here and take a look at the window sticker and give you the MPGs. We're looking at 19 city, 28 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. If you're curious to know, this Odyssey has a 19.5 gallon gas tank. For those who are curious, the exterior color on this Odyssey is platinum white. It has a black interior. And if you would like to tow with your Odyssey, it has a max towing capacity of 3,500 pounds. And as you can see, because I wanted to give you the full look at everything maximized, well, I took the seats out for you. So make sure you watch this video twice because I just finished working out before I came today and then I moved these seats. They're not super heavy, But after you've lifted weights in the morning and you come and move these seats in and out, or out and in, it can be a little heavy. Now you can see that obviously you can remove all 3 middle row seats. The middle seat, the smaller of those seats, which I have right here, I'm gonna say that weighs about 40 pounds is probably about right. The outboard seats weigh about 70 pounds apiece. My guesstimation, I don't think they weigh more than 80, but I think they're around 70. Just something to be aware of. Most people shouldn't have too much trouble getting those out and back in. And what about your cargo capacity? 32.8 to 140.7 cubic feet. To put that in perspective, if you were to go with the Chevrolet Suburban or the GMC Yukon, you're only going to gain about 4 cubic feet of max cargo capacity. So there's a lot of space here. And this is where we get into really nailing down whether or not the Odyssey is the ultimate multitasking minivan, because you can haul the family around, or you can use these stowing magic rear seats and just leave them folded down and still have some space with 3 seats in the middle to haul people around. Or you can do what we've done here and take all of the seats and get them out of the way, and you can use this to haul whatever will fit. You could also outfit this area back here to use as a work van. There are so many options. You already have space here on each side to store different things. As far as what you can see, you can even store the front license plate bracket, which is probably not a bad idea here in Northwest Louisiana, or in Louisiana period, because we don't need the front license plates. You also have a 12-volt power outlet back here. And that is one other thing that has changed for 2025, is that there are more USB-C ports throughout the interior than what we've had in previous years. And a couple of important points here. One question that I'm often asked is, do these rear seats recline? You can see that they actually recline quite a bit by what we have on the right-hand side compared to the left side. Something else that's useful is that while these seats are in the upright position, you can use this area down here for additional storage. It really goes a long way, because you might have something that needs the extra height that this area would provide. And how do you lower these? Well, there is a diagram right here to show you how to do it. It's super easy to do, but I'm just going to show you myself. So we're just going to pull on that, and it's easy to just do it that way one-handed. A little bit harder one-handed here on the driver's side or left-hand side, but let's see if we can get all that out of the way. You can see how that's a little more challenging to do one-handed. And all I had to do is get that headrest out of the way that just had come loose right there. And to put them back in place, let's see if I can do this one-handed. A little bit easier that way. Once they're locked in place, you just pull on the strap right here and move the seats into place wherever you want them to be. Pretty easy to deal with, that's for sure. A little bit harder to do, again, one-handed. But you know what? If I can easily do this, or do this one-handed, I'm not going to say it's easily done one-handed. You can definitely do it two-handed. Very easy to deal with. And there are multiple ways to open the power sliding side doors, including the buttons on the remote I showed you earlier. You can just pull on the handles on the doors themselves. There's also a couple of buttons on the driver's side over there, and middle row passengers can also use the buttons right here to open and close those as well. To gain access to the third row, we're just going to pull on that lever, and we can slide the seat. It's not a seat, it's a seat. But I'm not reshooting this scene. I already did that one time. This is take 2. So the seat out of the way. And you do have a nice amount of leg space. By the way, these seats do slide back and forth. And one thing I didn't talk about earlier is not only do they slide back and forth vertically, they also do horizontally as well. When you move this seat out, the middle seat right here, these outboard seats will actually slide back and forth. So there's a few different ways to configure things depending on what it is you want. Now, a couple of USB options here. We're going to have the air conditioning vent right here and a couple of cup holders. Now, you won't see the USB options over there on the left-hand or driver's side of the vehicle. You do have a 12-volt power outlet right there, and then again the air conditioning vent and the cup holders. Personally, I would like to see 2 USB ports and a 12-volt power outlet on both sides, but that's just my thought in the matter. And as I mentioned, we can use the button right here to close the door if we want to. There is a grab handle at each door. Not necessary, really, but it is kind of nice to have that to grab onto to get in and out. Not because of the height of the Odyssey, but it just makes it simple. You do have the shade, the privacy shade that can be put in place right there. And power windows, they don't go all the way down, but you can see that we do have the one touch up and one touch down. Notice I'm not holding the button down right there. Seat pockets on the back of each seat, so nice to see that is there, as well as some cup holders and some connectivity options on the back of the center console. Now, the center seat right here does have 3 cup holders built in and a little bit of storage behind that. It's not real high for obvious reasons, because if it were, obviously that would protrude pretty far into the rear seating area, and whoever's sitting in that middle seat, if someone is, well, that might be a little uncomfortable. And when somebody wants to drop, the driver wants to drop the hammer on 280 horsepower, there's the oh crap handle. This Odyssey will actually, from a standing start, spin the front tires a little bit when you take off. If you need that sporty feeling, I wouldn't recommend doing that too often, if at all, but it can do that. And you can see that we not only have one of the lights for the interior right here, but also the controls for your third zone of climate control, all right here. You can see everything you can control, fan speed, temperature, all that good stuff is there. It just makes things so easy to deal with. We also have a sunroof. Now, the fact that even though this is not the trim level that has, the elite trim level that has the updated entertainment screen that goes right here, that's why you only see a conventional sunroof. It does tilt and slide open. Now, what could potentially happen in the future when the Odyssey is fully redesigned, maybe we'll see Honda put a rear sunroof in that can be a lot larger. What do you think about that? Is that something you would like to see? And how about the sticker price on this Odyssey Sport-L for the 2025 model year? $44,920, at least here at Holmes Honda. Let's see what else you get for the price. No changes with the door panels, but you'll still find the upper and the lower door bins, all of the controls for the windows, power locks. You can lock all of the windows right there or unlock them and control the positioning of your power side view mirrors. You also have 2 settings for seat memory here on the driver's side. Right here, we can drop the lever to control the positioning of the steering wheel. That's tilt and telescopically adjustable, and you can control whether or not traction control is turned on. If you want to really knock out that front wheel drive tire spin, you can just turn that off. Control the position, or opening and closing, I should say, of your power tailgate back there, and you can open and close your sliding side doors. And right here, I'm showing you, because you might wonder where it is, there's your power parking brake and brake hold mode right there. Obviously, power seats for the driver and the passenger, they're both heated, and you do have lumbar support right here. And we'll hop inside and take a look at these changes. Now, these next few changes I talk about are going to be standard across all trim levels, including the 7-inch digital instrument cluster that you can go through and see a lot of different information. You can even make some changes to what's on the screen depending on what you need to do. Nothing really out of the ordinary, just a new look and feel as far as this goes. Gives it a little more modern look, so a nice setup in my opinion. Everything for your cruise control right there. You can see all of your other controls right here. You know what all is there. And some of you know what's here and some of you don't. You know that you control the headlights here and the fog lights, but you might accidentally push that up and down when you don't mean to and wonder what in the heck is going on. Is there something wrong? What is up with those blinking arrows? I promise if you ask in the comments section what that means, there's likely to be at least one person who does use their blinkers who can tell you all about it. Yes, that's one of my trademarks. I like to give a hard time to people who don't use their blinkers. So it's okay to laugh, even if you're laughing at yourself. Here is the control that we can't really laugh about as much. I don't know, maybe I'll have to sit back and think for a while of what I can come up with. But unless you have Rain-X on your windshield, you do use your windshield wipers and your rear window wiper as well. You also, if you're feeling sporty and you want to work your way back and forth manually through the 10-speed automatic transmission, well, there's how you do it. And another change for 2025, the new for the Honda Odyssey 9-inch digital touchscreen. Everything is wireless here. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone, and you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as you can see. We'll also go over here and take a look at a few other things that we have. Have cabin talk. You'll also have your display mode. You can go in there. You can see what you need to see depending on what you need to do. In fact, I didn't even mean to go there. Let's see if we can get back real quick. Maybe not real quick. Vehicle settings. Let's see what we have there. Everything you need to know is here, or need to change and know about. In fact, if your power tailgate isn't opening, there's where you're going to go and change that. So you might just need to set that to on. We'll also have our backup cameras. Nothing new here, no updates here. But it is here, it is nice and clear. You have your nice bright trajectory lines if you need those. And something that a lot of you don't want to see change, and that's going to be what's right here, your knob for controlling the volume and turning the radio on and off. A pretty simple system to use. Dual zone climate control here in the front. You can see all of the different features and functionality for that as far as your different controls and buttons and everything go. And here's how you turn on your heated seats. I'm leaving those off because it's just a tick warm today, and it's only going to get warmer. Now, one thing that I'm curious about is something you're hoping to see Honda change in the future right here. Some people tell me they don't like the push button shifter. Other people say they do. If you want to turn the idle stop or auto stop start off or on, depending on your personal preference, there's the button to do that. Snow mode and econ mode. You'll also have your hazard lights right there. And I do like the use of the space right here because you have the pass-through with plenty of space right there. Additional USB connectivity and another 12 volts. And there are multiple 12 volts throughout the interior and the cup holders. And not only do we have the 7-inch digital instrument cluster, the 9-inch touchscreen, but we also have the wireless charging pad that are all going to be standard as of 2025 across all trim levels. So if you're curious about that, now you know. Here are the armrests, nothing new where that's concerned, and nothing new where the console is concerned, but still plenty of room in there. You have that, what I call the garage door style lid, so that's pretty easy to deal with. And our upper console, we're going to have the conversation mirror right there, so you can give the kids the angry eyes, the kind eyes, or the neutral eyes, depending on what they're doing. And the sunglass holder, it's a multitasker. And there is the upper console as far as your controls and switches and buttons and lights go. All of that is going to be there. Pretty nice setup, pretty easy to deal with. What is it like to drive this Odyssey? Let's get out on the road and find out. Okay, here we go on the test drive. Getting down the road with the Odyssey is not a problem. I do wish I had some scenarios to work with beyond just having myself in the Odyssey. Maybe more people, maybe some cargo, something like that to see what the difference might be. But you're not really expecting rocket performance out of the Odyssey under any situation whatsoever, but it's going to do what it needs to do. Comfortable interior. I feel good and comfortable here in the driver's seat. For me, the armrest seems to work. It seems to be at the right place. I would like to see something that's maybe a little more adjustable, or simply have the center console that's taller here in the future to use as an armrest instead of what's built into the seat. Just depends on what it is you're interested in, what your personal preference is. But for me, that seems to work pretty well, just as it is. At 5'10", obviously I have absolutely no problem whatsoever being comfortable here within the interior, but I can tell there's a lot of adjustability left over in the driver's seat. So if I needed to adjust, if I was taller, I could. Now let's listen. You got a little bit of noise out of driving over those railroad tracks. And the ride quality was not really an issue, just a little bit of road noise, but to me, that's not a big deal. That's why I often say you need to drive these vehicles for yourself to draw your own conclusions, because I might say, hey, that's no problem. You might say it's even better than you made it out to be, Tom. I could hardly notice it. Or you might say, you know what, that's just a little too much road noise for me. In fact, let me just let you listen for a few seconds. I know that it really depends on the road surface you're on, but for what I'm on right now, I'll let you listen and see what you think. Now, obviously you are getting some noise. I don't know how well my microphone is picking things up, but we'll do the best we can to try and help you to hear what's going on as far as that goes. Easy to see out of, that's for sure. Now, if you had people in the back seat in that third row or even in the second row, that could make a difference as far as being able to see out of that back window. The back window is very large, so easy to see out of, and that is where maybe the addition of a rear view camera mirror as an option could come in very handy on the Odyssey. What do you think about that? Is that something you would like to see in the future? There's always something else that we could add, that's for sure, to the vehicles that we drive that we'd like to see available that may not be. But of course, when you do that, the price goes up. So some people are going to say, yeah, I'd like to have this or like to have that. Are you willing to pay the additional price? Now, we'll get on down the road here and do a little bit of an acceleration test. Not anything major, but no problems getting down the road, getting in front of the 18-wheeler right there. Easy to deal with. Gas and brake pedal easy to deal with as well. So no big surprises there. If you're not a fan of turbochargers and dealing with turbo lag, well, obviously the engine under the hood of this model is good for you because it's naturally aspirated. And while we've had changes in technology for 2025, it's still very simple to learn and very easy to use. So for those of you who maybe haven't had all of this before, don't let that scare you off. And keep in mind, I like to say this in all of my videos, you're already in the right place to learn all about it because there are so many tutorials on the technology in these Honda Odysseys right here on YouTube. And there it is, the 2025 Honda Odyssey. Is it the ultimate multitasking minivan? It can tow, it can haul, you can use it as the handyman's minivan if you wanted to. A lot of things you can haul, including the family. You can even haul sailboat fuel if you wanted to, so tell me what you think. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Odyssey for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.